Every single morning, millions of people over 60 wake up and unknowingly put their heart through something it was never designed to handle. And the worst part? Most of them have no idea it's even happening. No chest pain, no warning signs, just a slow, invisible strain that builds up day after day, week after week, year after year. Until one day, the body sends a message that can't be ignored. If you're over 60, what you do in the first hour after you wake up might be the most important hour of your entire day. Not because of what you should be doing, but because of what you're probably already doing wrong. And here's the unsettling truth. These aren't dramatic mistakes. They're small, everyday habits, things that seem completely harmless, things your doctor has probably never mentioned, things you might even think are healthy. But after 60, your heart doesn't work the way it used to. Your blood vessels have changed. Your circulation has slowed. Your body's ability to adapt to stress isn't what it was at 40 or even 50, and that means the morning routines that worked for decades can suddenly become dangerous, silently dangerous. So before you pour that first cup of coffee tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you even get out of bed, there are 3 things you need to understand. Because once you know what's really happening inside your body during those critical morning hours, you'll never look at your routine the same way again. Let's start with something almost everyone does, something so deeply woven into the rhythm of daily life that it feels like part of waking up itself. For tens of millions of older adults, the very first thing that touches their lips each morning is coffee. Hot, familiar, energizing. It's a ritual, a comfort, and for most of their lives, it's been completely harmless. But here's what most people don't realize. After the age of 60, your body's relationship with caffeine changes in ways that directly affect your heart. And it all comes down to timing. When you wake up in the morning, your body is already in a state of stress. Not emotional stress, but physiological stress. Your cortisol levels, the hormone that helps you wake up and get moving, are naturally surging. Your blood pressure is rising. Your heart rate is increasing. This is normal. It's how your body transitions from sleep to wakefulness. But it's also a delicate process, especially as you get older. Now, when you drink coffee on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, you're adding a powerful stimulant into a system that's already under strain. Caffeine doesn't just wake you up. It triggers your adrenal glands to release even more cortisol. It constricts your blood vessels. It raises your blood pressure even higher. And it forces your heart to work harder, faster, at the exact moment when it's already working to stabilize itself. For someone in their 30s or 40s, the body can usually handle this surge. But after 60, your blood vessels are less flexible. Your heart muscle may have thickened slightly. Your arteries might have plaque buildup you don't even know about. And suddenly, that innocent cup of coffee becomes a stressor your cardiovascular system has to fight against. The effect is subtle. You won't feel your blood pressure spiking. You won't notice your arteries constricting. But over time, this daily assault adds up. It creates inflammation. It puts strain on the heart muscle. It makes your cardiovascular system work in overdrive during the very hours it should be gently waking up. And here's the part that almost no one talks about. When you drink coffee before eating anything, before giving your body any fuel, you're also spiking your cortisol without giving your blood sugar a stable foundation. This creates a stress response that can last for hours. Your body interprets it as a threat, and in response, it keeps your heart rate elevated, your blood pressure high, and your system on alert. This isn't about demonizing coffee. It's about understanding timing. It's about recognizing that after 60, the sequence of what you do matters just as much as what you do. And if you've been starting every single morning for the last 10, 20, or 30 years with coffee on an empty stomach, you've been asking your heart to run a sprint before it's even had a chance to stretch. But that's only the first mistake. And in some ways, it's not even the most dangerous one. Because the second thing that happens in those early morning hours has nothing to do with what you put in your body. It has to do with how you move it. Think about what happens the moment you wake up. Your alarm goes off, or maybe you just naturally open your eyes. And what do? If you're like most people, you sit up. Maybe quickly, Maybe you swing your legs over the side of the bed and stand up right away. You head to the bathroom. You start moving. It feels automatic, instinctive. You've done it every day of your life. But after 60, this simple act, getting up quickly after lying flat for hours, can put your heart and brain in a dangerous situation. And it all comes down to something called orthostatic stress. When you've been lying down for 6, 7, 8 hours, your blood has settled. Gravity has pulled it into the central parts of your body. Your heart has been beating slowly, calmly, pumping blood in a horizontal position. Your blood pressure has dropped to its lowest levels of the day. Everything is at rest. But the moment you sit up or stand up, especially quickly, gravity immediately pulls blood down toward your legs. And now your heart has to respond. It has to suddenly pump harder to get blood back up to your brain. Your blood vessels have to constrict. Your nervous system has to activate. It's a rapid, complex adjustment that requires your cardiovascular system to shift gears in an instant. When you're younger, this happens seamlessly. You don't even notice it. But after 60, the system slows down. The receptors that sense your blood pressure and tell your heart to speed up, they don't respond as quickly. The blood vessels that are supposed to tighten and push blood upward, they've lost some of their elasticity. And the result is that for a few critical seconds, or sometimes even a minute or two, your brain isn't getting the blood flow it needs. This is why so many older adults experience dizziness when they first stand up. It's why some feel lightheaded, unsteady, foggy, and in the worst cases, it's why some people fall. A fall that happens because your brain didn't get enough oxygen for just a few seconds. A fall that can fracture a hip, crack a skull, or change the course of your independence forever. But even if you don't fall, even if you don't feel dizzy, the strain is still there. Your heart is struggling to catch up. It's beating faster, working harder, trying to compensate. And if you've already had that cup of coffee, if your cortisol is already surging, if your blood pressure is already elevated, you're compounding the problem. This is orthostatic stress. And it's one of the most underestimated threats to heart health in older adults. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's repetitive. Every single morning, your cardiovascular system is forced to make a rapid, intense adjustment. And over months and years, that stress wears on the heart. It contributes to arrhythmias, to hypertension, to weakening of the heart muscle itself. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires awareness. It requires slowing down, sitting on the edge of the bed for 30 seconds before you stand, letting your body adjust, giving your heart time to recalibrate. These few extra seconds can mean the difference between a system that transitions smoothly and one that's thrown into chaos. But here's where it gets even more concerning, because even if you avoid the coffee trap, even if you get up slowly and carefully, there's still a third mistake that most people make. And this one might be the most misunderstood of all. It has to do with what you eat, or more accurately, what you don't eat. Breakfast. The meal you've been told your entire life is the most important of the day. And yet, millions of people over 60 either skip it entirely or they eat exactly the wrong things, and their heart pays the price. Here's why this matters so much after 60. When you sleep, your body goes into a fasting state. Your blood sugar drops, your metabolism slows, and when you wake up, your body is essentially running on empty. It needs fuel, but not just any fuel. It needs the right kind, delivered at the right time, in the right way. Now, many older adults skip breakfast altogether. Maybe they're not hungry in the morning. Maybe they've heard about intermittent fasting and think it's healthy. Maybe they just want to save calories. But here's what happens when you skip that morning meal. Your body still needs energy. It still needs to power your brain, your muscles, your heart, and if you're not giving it food, it has to pull energy from somewhere else. So it releases more stress hormones. Cortisol, adrenaline, these hormones break down stored glucose and fat to give you energy, and in the process, they raise your blood pressure, increase inflammation, and put your cardiovascular system under strain. It's the same stress response your body would have if you were in danger, if you were running from a threat. Except you're not running. You're just trying to get through your morning, and your heart is working overtime to keep you going. But skipping breakfast isn't the only problem. In fact, eating the wrong breakfast might be even worse. Think about what many people consider a typical breakfast. Toast with jam, a muffin, A bagel, cereal with milk, orange juice, pancakes. All of these are loaded with refined carbohydrates and sugar. And when you eat them first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, they cause your blood sugar to spike rapidly. Now, your body has to respond. Your pancreas releases insulin to bring that blood sugar back down. But after 60, your cells are often more resistant to insulin. It takes more effort, more insulin, more strain on your metabolism, and this creates a cascade of problems. High blood sugar damages the lining of your blood vessels. It promotes inflammation. It makes your blood thicker, stickier, more likely to clot. And when your blood sugar crashes an hour or two later, your body releases more stress hormones to bring it back up, more cortisol, more adrenaline, more strain on your heart. This roller coaster happens every single morning for people who eat high-carb, high-sugar breakfasts. And over time, it contributes to insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, chronic inflammation, and cardiovascular disease. The very conditions that lead to heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. But here's what makes this even more tragic. Most people think they're doing the right thing. They think cereal is healthy. They think orange juice is full of vitamins. They think toast is a light, sensible choice. They have no idea that every morning they're setting their body up for a metabolic disaster. And when you combine all three of these mistakes, when you drink coffee on an empty stomach, jump out of bed quickly, and then eat a high-sugar breakfast, you create a perfect storm of cardiovascular stress. Your cortisol is surging, your blood pressure is spiking, your blood vessels are constricting, your blood sugar is soaring, and your heart is caught in the middle of it all, trying desperately to keep up. Day after day, week after week, year after year. Is it any wonder that heart disease is the leading cause of death in people over 60? Is it any surprise that so many older adults struggle with high blood pressure, arrhythmias, fatigue, and declining heart function? The signs have been there all along, but they've been hiding in plain sight, disguised as normal morning routines. Now, here's the good news. Once you understand what's happening, once you see these patterns clearly, you can change them. And the changes don't have to be dramatic or overwhelming. They just have to be intentional. Let's start with the coffee. You don't have to give it up. You just have to time it differently. Instead of drinking it the moment you wake up, wait. Give your body 30 to 60 minutes to stabilize. Let your cortisol do its natural job of waking you up. And when you do have your coffee, have it after you've eaten something. A small meal with protein and healthy fat. This gives your body a stable foundation. It prevents the blood sugar crash, it reduces the stress response, and it allows you to enjoy your coffee without putting your heart through unnecessary strain. Next, change how you get out of bed. This is one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do. When you wake up, don't rush. Sit up slowly. Sit on the edge of the bed for 20 or 30 seconds. Let your body adjust. Take a few deep breaths. Feel your balance. Then stand up gently. This gives your cardiovascular system time to recalibrate. It reduces dizziness, it prevents falls, and it protects your heart from that sudden orthostatic shock. And finally, rethink breakfast. Make it a priority, but make it the right kind of priority. Focus on protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Eggs, Greek yogurt, nuts, avocado, vegetables, foods that stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and give your body steady, lasting energy. Avoid the refined carbs, skip the sugary cereals and the white bread, save the orange juice for later in the day, if at all. Your heart will thank you. These aren't extreme changes. They're not restrictive or complicated, but they're grounded in an understanding of what your body actually needs after 60. And when you align your habits with your biology, everything starts to shift. Your energy becomes more stable. Your blood pressure starts to normalize. Your heart doesn't have to fight so hard just to get you through the morning. And over time, these small, consistent changes add up to something profound. They add up to a stronger heart, a healthier body, and a longer, more vibrant life. Because here's the truth that no one talks about enough. Aging doesn't have to mean declining. Getting older doesn't have to mean getting weaker. Yes, your body changes. Yes, you have to adapt. But when you understand how your body works, when you respect what it needs, you give yourself the chance to thrive, not just survive. Your heart has been beating for 60, 70, maybe 80 years or more. It's carried you through every moment of your life, every joy, every challenge, every sunrise, and it's still working for you right now as you hear these words. It deserves your attention, it deserves your care, and it deserves a morning routine that supports it, not one that silently sabotages it. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, pause, take a breath, and remember that the choices you make in that first hour will echo through your entire day. They'll affect your energy, your mood, your clarity, your strength, and over time, they'll shape the quality and the length of your life. You have more control than you think, more power than you've been told, and it starts with something as simple as how you begin your day, because the heart you protect today is the heart that will protect you tomorrow, and that's a gift worth giving yourself every single morning for all the mornings still to come.